Hello, 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 and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Beverly Lucas, and I am the host of For the Love of Cooking Fridays. What do I do on Fridays? I try to show you how to make a delicious meal from scratch that is better than the restaurant. Always better than the restaurant. Well, what are we going to make today, Beverly? Let me think about it. Today we're going to make something that I've never made before. And I'm always excited when it's something that I've never made. So today we're making a crab quiche. So I looked at, as I always do, I look at different recipes and then I kind of make up my own based on all the ingredients that I see. So I'm going to introduce some of my ingredients to you. The first thing that I have is I have a store-bought crust. This is, well, it was frozen. It came in a package of 2. So I took one out, and I'm not really a baker, so I don't really like pie crust, but we're going to use this because this is going to set the foundation to hold our quiche together. This is a crab quiche. So I have lump crab from Handy, and you can see this is jumbo lump, and I purchased this from Wegmans. Wegmans is my favorite store for my seafood. Wegmans and Captain White Seafood. I have some half and half, and of course to have a quiche, the main ingredients are eggs. So we have 5 eggs here. And with quiche, you want to have cheese. So you can use any type of cheese that you want. I have this blend of cheese. It is a blend of provolone, Romano, and Parmesan, my favorites. So we're going to have that. And as far as the vegetables, we have about, I don't know, a quarter cup of some red pepper. I have the same amount of some cherry tomatoes, the same amount of some diced onion, and we have some chives here. And I want you to see these chives because I want you to see how they're cut, because I'm going to show you this cool instrument that gets them cut and minced so that they look like that. I have some parsley, some chopped up parsley, fresh parsley. We have some garlic. We need some butter for our vegetables, and you cannot cook crab without having some Old Bay seasoning. So we have some Old Bay, and then I just have a little salt and pepper mixture. So these are all the ingredients for our crab quiche. I already know that it's going to be delicious. Why? Because I'm making it, and everything I make is delicious. That's funny. I'm not just saying that, but that's what the people tell me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to believe the majority that my food is good. So we are going to get started. I'm going to preheat my oven on 375. And so since I typically don't bake with a pie crust, one of the things about pie crust is you buy it frozen. So I bought it frozen, and then I let it thaw out, and then I par cooked it for about 8 minutes. And I don't know what that's supposed to do, but that's what my research said, so I par cooked it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our eggs and we are going to crack them. Before I crack the eggs, I turned on the stove, and I'm going to put it on medium, and we're going to let our butter melt because we are going to soften our red bell pepper, and our onions. So right here, we are going to crack our eggs. And it's simple. 2. I love quiche. I'm using the peppers and the onions, but you could use any type of vegetable. You could use broccoli, you could put asparagus in there, you could use spinach. This is what I happen to have at home, so this is what we're going to use. And I'm just going to whisk my eggs, and I'm going to add my salt and pepper because I do not want to forget. And it's about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 teaspoon of pepper. And it's gonna look like this. This here is our heavy cream. I may have called it half and half, but it's heavy cream. You can use half and half, or you can even use milk. But I want mine really rich. So I'm gonna use this entire, this is how many ounces? This is a pint. So I'm using that pint. Okay, so I'm bringing you over here to my butter, which is melted. And I'm going to add my red bell peppers, and I'm gonna add my white onion. And I also, in my refrigerator, don't ask me why, but I had 2 mushrooms. We are adding these 2 mushrooms. Okay, let me get a little salt and pepper. Just to season these just a little bit. A little bit of salt. And just a little bit of pepper. Give it some flavor. This is a wonderful combination. While the vegetables are simmering, I'm going to sprinkle our crab meat with Old-Bay to make sure that each piece has some Old-Bay, has some flavor. And we're also going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of Old-Bay in our egg mixture. Also in our egg mixture now, we can add our cheese. And this is about 1 cup. And again, you can use any cheese that you like. Let me take this out. And let me fold that in. And it should look like this. And I guess some would say that you really don't need to pre-cook the vegetables. If I was using spinach, I probably would not pre-cook it because it cooks so quickly. But when it comes to onions and peppers, it's my preference. Even though I have not made crab quiche before, I have made quiche before. What I am not going to pre-cook is I'm not going to pre-cook our tomatoes because those are going to be on top. They're going to be for the sweetness of the tomato, but it's also going to add to the presentation to the top of the quiche. But there is one thing that I really did want to show you was this gadget that I have. And this is an herb cutter. And I saved some of these chives so that you could see how this works. You just cut the chives. I think I've showed you this before, but it's like that. And then I have my little gadget here that came with it. You open it up, and what it does is it gives you all the herbs the same size. So when you're thinking about presentation, something like this matters. Usually I have my kitchen shears and I use those, but every once in a while I have a little patience and I take these out. And I usually have a handful, but I just left these just so that I could show you how that works. And it depends on what you're making, whether or not, you know, they're going to be seen, and you will see how these will work out for me. A little closer. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my garlic. It's not a lot. It's about 1 clove of garlic. And you've heard me say over and over again, you do not want to overcook the garlic. You just want to cook it until you can smell the release of the scent, which is now. So, also I want to mention when you are making quiche, you know, if you don't like seafood, you could use ham, you could use sausage, you could use beef, you could use pork. You can use whatever meat that you want, but the whole purpose of the quiche is to have everything in a slice. So we are going to have our eggs, of course. We're going to have our cheese. We're going to have our vegetables. And then we are going to have our lump crab. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take about half of those chives and most of the parsley. Now I have our vegetables that we are going to put in there. And they are still warm, and that's okay. And I had used, I don't think I mentioned, about 3 tablespoons of butter. And we're just gonna mix this all together. I'm gonna fold in about half of the crab meat. Oh, you know what? I just remembered something. I'm excited because I remembered that I had crab left over from the week. So I have 3 crabs, 3 Maryland crabs. So I have 3 Maryland crabs, and I was going to take the meat out of them and include them into the quiche. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I was able to pick those 3 crabs, and this is the crab meat that we have from those 3 crabs. Let me use this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this first in the quiche. Now the mixture looks like this, a little bit thick, of course, now because we have that crab in there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pie crust. Again, I cooked this for, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes first. You poke holes in it and cooked it at 375. And now I'm going to pour my mixture in. Oh, you know what? It looks like I'm going to have to make 2 of these because this is already at the top. That's no problem. Because it came in a package of 2. So we're going to do the same thing to this crust here. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. So I'm going to put this here and we're going to let it thaw, and then we're going to power cook it just like we did this first one. But as you can see, this is up to the top. So that means that we're only going to use half of this 8 ounces of crab. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just pull it apart because it is lump crab. And we're gonna, the small ones we'll leave like that. And we'll just do just like this, so that in every slice, there will be some crab. Okay, so I have that. Now, what I have also is I have some chives that I did not chop up because I wanted to make a design on the top, because that's what I saw in the picture, and that's what drove me to this recipe. So we're gonna make a little design on the top. I will show it to you. Cut this a little bit smaller. I am really, really, really into presentation. That's like one of my #1 goals now is presentation. Because I believe that we eat with our 5 senses, and one of them is sight. And then also we're going to use our tomatoes. So I'm also going to put those on top to make it look pretty. I just love this kind of stuff, let me tell you. I am the right one for the job. I am. Love being creative. Always been that way. Okay, I need some symmetry here. So, I'll show you. I'll show you what it looks like so far. That's what it looks like so far. I just remembered that I also saved some parsley to put in the middle here. I have 2 branches, so we're gonna do the best we can. And I do have some kitchen tweezers here that can help me out. So now we're looking kind of like this. And then I'm going to take some more of those chives and I'm just gonna put them down here at the bottom, like this. Let me pull these apart. Okay, I think I'm pretty pleased with that. So we're gonna put this in the oven and it's going to cook for about 40 to 50 minutes. That's what it said, 40 to 50 minutes. This is gonna be, do you see all this crab? This is gonna be absolutely delicious. So let me show you one more time. I'm gonna put it on a baking sheet. So our quiche is ready. It has been about 50 minutes. And we're gonna pull it out. And it looks beautiful here. That we are going to have to let it rest before we cut into it. Look at that. It is so beautiful. Yes. Crab quiche. It is.